In this episode, Datsuns, Georgia Peaches, and Florida Man. Welcome back to the We Are Auto Show. Let's roll right into some news, shall we?
There is some news that we should chat about.
Okay.
Let's kick it off with a Datsun.
Ooh, yeah. Let's talk about this Datsun, shall we?
Yeah.
So there's a Datsun that we've both been super pumped to see and get to touch and hold and hear and all of the things, right? And shake hands with that manual gearbox. Mm-hmm. But bad news, it's being delayed. The new Nissan 400Z is actually now going to be delayed until summer, at least.
Huh.
Bummer.
That is a bummer.
Yeah. They originally said that, you'd be able to purchase it and you'd be coming out spring, which was, started a month and a half or 2 months ago. So that obviously came and went as summer is right around the corner from us here.
Did they give a reason?
Yeah, so they're stating unforeseen supply issues.
Yeah. So does everybody.
So is it actually unforeseen supply chain issues, or did they just not finish this in time?
Probably a little both.
And they're just like, my dog ate my homework. Oh, it's the unforeseen supply chain issues that are plaguing everybody.
Every person's or every business's excuse lately has just been COVID, supply chain. Doesn't matter what the problem is.
100%.
We have a bug in our software. COVID, supply chain. Sorry.
It's so true. It's honestly, it's so true. Every little thing that's gone wrong lately in the world is just, supply chains, they're all backed up. Yeah, we'll never get. Come on.
It's stuck in the port. Maybe that's where all these Datsuns are.
Maybe they are. But now we're seeing more and more pictures come out, and I'm liking the look of it even more.
It does look good. It looks very good.
What's your favorite angle to look at the car?
I kind of like this backside view.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Oh, me too. Because it so much more reminds me of a true, proper, original Datsun.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
As opposed to the older Zs, like the current, the 350 to 370. Mm-hmm. They didn't really remind me of the old Datsun.
Yeah. I 1,000% agree. Even the 300ZX, still didn't. That was still a whole nother realm away from the old 280, right? That view that we were just looking at, that rear quarter, I really like. It's very attractive. To me.
Big fan of that. But I will say, from the front, I can see the old heritage in there a little bit. I can see the 370, the 350 in there. Mm-hmm. And I think that it does a good job of throwing it back on the backside and keeping it front facing on the front side.
But undunce.
Yeah.
I like that. My favorite part about the car, other than the look, is the fact that it's got a twin-turbo V6 that develops about 400 horsepower and is available with a manual gearbox.
Indeed. For a reasonable price.
Stoked for that. Yeah. Yeah.
Like 40 grand, I think?
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Yes. It might be. I know it's got problems with like sharing chassis components of the 370, which was always plagued by weight and heaviness, right?
Yep.
But I really want to get my hands on one, and I really want to drive one because it looks smaller than the 372. Like as well.
Would you reasonably think about buying this?
There's a little piece in me that thinks maybe. But the other piece of me thinks, why am I going to spend 40 grand on a Datsun when if I ferry that money over to the used market, I got a whole lot of Porsche Cayman I could buy.
Okay. You can only buy new. You can only spend 40. What do you buy? Because that outs the Porsche, right? Unless you're going boxer.
Even then,
Okay, yeah. There's no Porsche you're buying for new.
40 grand.
No.
There's almost no other sports car you're going to buy for 40 grand.
No, there's
A BRZ,
BRZ.
but that's slow.
It is.
A Miata?
There's that. Supras are too much, right?
Pretty well.
I think they're just over that. I think they're like 50-ish.
Yeah. I think that's the buy. I think if you're spending 40 grand on a new car and you want it sporty, I think you buy the new Z.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But bummer to hear that it's being delayed until summer.
Unforeseen supply chain issues.
Of course there is.
Yeah. All right, let's move on, my friend.
All right.
Some other news to chat about.
Okay, what you got?
So, did you see that there is a Rivian coming to Georgia? The state of Georgia?
I heard something about that.
Huh? Do you know of any car companies that produce cars in Georgia?
No.
Neither do I. So this is kind of intriguing. Georgia grants Rivian plant a record $1.5 billion incentive deal. It's just PG.
That's billion with a B.
Billion with a B.
Billion.
So Rivian is coming to Georgia, and they're going to build a plant there. Georgia expects to get back about $7 billion in economic output from this factory.
I mean, the ROI, $1.5 billion, get back $7 billion. Sure, those numbers make some sense. I'll be honest.
So Rivian is investing $5 billion to build a new manufacturing plant in Stanton Springs, Georgia, which I believe is about 45 minutes outside to the east of Atlanta.
So it's close-ish to Atlanta.
It's closest to Atlanta. It's kind of close to Petit Le Mans, or Road Atlanta, the racetrack. It's around that area. I think that racetrack's a little bit north of it. Mm-hmm. But a couple of interesting stats here. Rivian has agreed to hire up to 7,500 full-time employees at an average salary of around $56,000, which is not bad, plus benefits, through 2047. That's a long time.
That we are 2022, carry the one. That's a long time from
25
now.
years.
Yeah.
That's a long time. The facility that they're going to build, they're going to have around 500 acres of graded area, which is pretty big. About the overall plot of land that they're buying is around 2,000 acres. Jesus. So they got room for expansion. And they're going to, I guess, take part of a railway that's close by and route it toward the facility so they can do rail into it. The Georgia Transportation will build a frontage road. They're going to widen a highway. They're going to construct an access road, and they're going to build a new interchange. Yeah.
What?
So a whole bunch of stuff is going on to get cars in and out of this facility.
Oh, my God.
Should be pretty big. Now,
seems like it.
As far as I understand, this plant aims to output 400,000 cars, electric vehicles, annually once it's fully up and running.
Whoa.
Those are big numbers.
Those are, yeah.
Considering that Rivian's only produced like under 10,000 cars right now, which is not much. That's a big number. Now, this will be their first big foray into proper big boy manufacturing.
Yeah.
If they can pull out multiple hundreds of thousands of cars a year out of this facility, that's big time.
That is. Do you know where, in terms of scale, the big boys, the Fords, GMs, where are they at in terms of amount of cars produced a year?
The F-150, as far as I understand it, is producing like 1 million cars a year.
Oh,
just the F-150.
You're still not even close, but
no,
you're getting closer.
Right. So I'd imagine all of Ford is 2, 3, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Right. Multiple millions of cars.
Yeah.
I will say that I think that Tesla got to, or they're getting close to around 300,000 a year or something like that. So they're getting up there.
It's a lot.
But Rivian is still lagging behind. So the facility is going to be building the Rivian R1T pickup, the Rivian R1S SUV, and possibly the Amazon order delivery fleet that Jeff UB has been asking for on Twitter.
Good God.
Yeah. So should be a variety of vehicles. Is going to be pretty cool. Hopefully they pull this off. Big deal. Big deal in that area.
Definitely seems like it. If you're a Georgian, is that what they call themselves?
I think so.
We're Floridians. I think they're Georgians. Right. So if you're a peach lover, this should be some pretty big news for you, because maybe you're going to go get a job at Rivian and hide things in the transmission tunnel.
Crawl through it.
Daily. Yeah. Be delivered in one. Hello.
7,500 full-time employees. So if you're around that area, be looking.
That's a lot of people.
Be on the lookout.
That's at an average of $56,000 a year. That's a regular job. That's a good regular job.
Yep. Cool stuff.
I can dig it.
All right. Let's move on to something else.
All right. So, I like to embrace my inner Florida man.
Oh, boy.
Right. So, Florida man, he's famous for doing things like walking a pet alligator into a grocery store and, I don't know, lighting his pet turtle's genitalia on fire because of reasons. I don't know.
My favorite headline I've ever seen is Florida man steals driveway.
Yeah. There you go.
Yes. He stole the whole driveway.
Florida man built the world's longest limo that we had talked about.
Yes, he did.
Right? Florida. Welcome to the Sunshine State, baby.
Oh, yeah.
So I got some Florida man news for you. Florida man apparently binned it in a Ford GT. Ooh, big ooh. Because there is this wonderful, beautiful Gulf livery 2006 Ford GT Heritage Edition, right? Mm-hmm. That was just recently purchased that the old man apparently didn't know how to drive a manual. Oof.
He didn't know how to drive a manual.
Oof.
Bought an old Ford GT and crashed it.
Oof. And it's a big crash, too.
Oh.
Yeah. Not so good there.
This is so hard to look at.
It is really hard to look at.
Oh.
It's really, really hard to look at.
I can't believe you crashed this. Unfamiliar with driving stick. If you can buy a Ford GT, an old one, for a lot of money. Apparently he bought it for $700,000. That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
Yes. Can you please just buy an old Civic that's stick, learn how to drive on that, kill the clutch, smash it into a tree. That's fine.
Yeah.
And then go drive your Ford GT.
That would seem like the reasonable kind of progression.
Right.
Especially if you're dropping $700,000+ on a supercar, right? Good God. You've got an extra $4,000 laying around to go buy an old beater to learn how to drive stick.
Right. Let me ask you this question. Would you drive this car?
In real life? If it wasn't broken?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah.
Would you be confident enough?
Yeah. I think I would. And I'm not the most brilliant driver in the world, but yeah. I would absolutely drive that car.
I would not be scared about the stick aspect of it.
Nope.
But I would be scared that I'm in almost $1 million car. And I am a bit liable when I'm behind the wheel of it.
Yeah, I don't know if that... See, it's funny. I've driven some sports cars and supercars that are not what I'd call cheap, right? And that thought still just never actually crosses my mind. It's just never something that I think, if a deer runs out in front of me, I'm going to jump at the chance to drive any kind of exciting car ever. And this Florida man won't crash a Heritage Edition Ford GT in a Gulf livery. So if anyone else has got one of those laying around that they want to let Florida man drive, I'll do it, and I won't put it into a palm tree. How about that? Yeah, it's pretty tragic. Apparently what's pretty funny is the dude that bought it, that crashed it, he didn't even have his cell phone with him.
Huh?
He's like kind of an older guy where he just doesn't carry his cell phone very well. And apparently he crashed it and he had to walk to the neighbor's house in shame. Like, pardon me, knock, knock, knock. But
Wow.
can I borrow your phone for a minute? Because I got a little little issue out back there. That palm tree, not so good.
Ooh, I crashed my $1 million race car.
But now think about it. What if he didn't crash it? What if he just drove it being unfamiliar with how to drive a manual? And then how much is a clutch in a $700,000 Ford GT?
It's not cheap, but I don't think it's more expensive to do this.
I was
It's way more expensive to put it into a palm tree.
I would say, yeah, if you're going to put things in equivalent terms of money, it's going to cost a hell of a lot more to stuff it into a palm tree than it is to wear out a Ford clutch.
What I want to know is how many times did he stall before hitting the palm tree?
That's a good point. The article says that it happened while he was trying to downshift.
Oh.
Which means in my brain, he was going from fourth to third at probably a high rate of speed.
Yeah, or fourth to second or fourth to first.
Something.
And he missed a gear.
Just absolutely dumped the clutch and broke loose and went sideways and bada bing, bada boom. There you go.
Blip the throttle. Rev match.
Something along those lines. It sounds like a good plan, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yikes. That is some Florida man goodness.
That really is some Florida man goodness. So, any other news articles we should cover on this episode?
No, I think that wraps it up.
All right, so then we're going to wrap this episode up. We will catch you guys on the next one. Much appreciated for everyone watching on YouTube. If you are, make sure you hit the thumbs up button, drop a comment, and subscribe. If you're on audio only, right, Apple, Google, Stitcher, wherever, make sure you leave us a 5-star rating and leave a review if you could. Share the show with your friends, and follow us on social and send your I wish they would haves. So thanks again, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Peace.